Following the presentation of the 2023 budget statement by the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta on Thursday, Parliament is set to have a debate on the budget on Tuesday, November 29, 2022. Ahead of the debate, a workshop was organized for members of Parliament on the budget at Ho in the Volta region. In his opening remarks, the Minority Leader, Haruna Idrisu, outlined some key highlights of the budget and its debilitating effect on the public.
The 2023 budget statement is replete with evidence that government is simply broke and the economy in crisis and an economy under life support that needs some resuscitation. Some of the measures may provide the relief that the economy needs. Some may exacerbate them. For instance, when you say you are placing a cap on employment into the public and civil service, how does that add to the already existing alarming unemployment levels of our country? When you are placing a cap even on enrollment to teacher and nurses training schools, not the payment of their allowances, how does that address the iniquities and the ratio of students to teachers or people to teachers, doctors and nurses to the Ghanaian public? Then, Mr. Speaker, an emotional issue. We are not against the construction of a cathedral. Ghana is a secular state and republic which guarantees freedom of faith, freedom of conscience, and freedom of religion. But when you make a budgetary allocation for the construction of a national cathedral at 80 million Ghana cedis, we shudder will ask, what is the total cost of that project? How were procurements undertaken to assure value for money? What is the duration of the project? How much will it cost the state? And when will the project be completed? These are needful answers we will ask whilst we support it. We are concerned about the impact of the 2.5% VAT on businesses and the private sector, and whether that will not be a disincentive to growth, and whether that will not be a disincentive to an already struggling and ailing private which simply cannot cope with the cost of doing business. As elected representative, there is gradual erosion of public faith and confidence in the elected, from the president through his ministers, through members of parliament. The public simply don't trust us. We need to ask why. Because fidelity to what we say.
Attributing the current economic hardships to external shocks and the depreciation Citi, the Majority Leader, Oseiche Mensah-Bonsu, says the budget would help tackle the challenges confronting the economy.
Colleagues, it's no gainsaying the fact that external shocks such as COVID-19 pandemic and the Russian-Ukraine war have conspired in a very unhallowed manner to worsen the vulnerability of the Ghanaian economy. These have created both internal and external imbalances, a declining economic growth, high inflation, and unsustainable financing of the current account deficit, a huge debt overhang, and a rapid depreciation of the Citi. Sadly, these variables have brought a lot of hardships to the citizenry, particularly the poor and vulnerable. In this regard, the 2023 budget intends to cushion the populace through increased spending on social protection.
The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, says the Finance Ministry must be open and transparent to Ghanaians in its deliberations with the International Monetary Fund, IMF, to engender public trust in the government.
We have been courting the IMF for some time now. And it is the hope of every Ghanaian today that the overtures of the IMF will bring some relief and hope. Consequently, we must bear in mind that the absence of openness and transparency can lead to suspicion and a profound sense of despair and hopelessness. It is in this regard that I call on the Ministry of Finance and the resource persons to master the courage to be candid, open, and to speak truth to power. Don't come and repeat what we've been told already. We know it. Give us policy alternatives. As he sits here, he's learned a bitter lesson. It's uncommon to come across the members of your own party rise up in parliament against their own minister.